Hey everybody, it's me, Jeff Kennedy, Space Surfer, back again with a how-to episode. And if you look behind me, I have a bunch of surfboards, 17 as a matter of fact. And yeah, I might have a problem, I know what you're thinking, but it's not a surfboard problem. Take my word for that. There's never a problem with having too many surfboards. So yeah, we have all these different surfboards here, 17. And I have this rack that I built about 4 or 5 years ago. Some of these boards have been sitting in this rack and never ridden. I don't surf that much. And they're an assortment of different boards, soft and fishes, thrusters, just different types of surfboards. If you're not familiar, you might familiarize yourself just by watching this episode. I have a lot of different types of surfboards to check out. You know, nothing too fancy, but all cool stuff. A lot of it's been ridden pretty hard because I surf my boards. I don't leave them as wall hangers, nothing like that. So you're going to join me tonight. We're going to take a look at the rack that I have, and we're going to weigh the pros and cons of building a rack like this versus maybe some of the other market options. Stay tuned. I can't wait to show you the rest. We're going to build a rack, so stay tuned. So let's start off with the standard surfboard rack in case you want to build a rack from home. I built this rack probably in 2015. I had about as many boards, and it has 7 dowels, which allows for 9 boards. And you know, a little loose, but if you have it in the corner, this rack is really designed to lean against the wall. If you notice, it's really shaky this direction, but it definitely won't fall forward. And I lean the boards into it this way. So a couple things about it. I just designed like the matting so I didn't ding the bottom of the boards with a floor mat from Home Depot. Cut it in half and then put it lengthwise across the bottom of the boards. Pretty simple, pretty cheap. Floor mat's about $14. Dowel rods that you see, you know, this is probably the jankiest part of this, is that even no matter how good you try to drill these without a drill hole, a drill press, if you will, you know, you can get some unevenness in the dowels, but it really doesn't matter. It does the trick. And you know, the main problem is that, you know, you get dowels in like a 4-foot length, and you can only really get 2 of these dowels out of one of these sticks, and one of these sticks runs you about $7, you know. So to do 9 alone, I don't know, I'm not very good at math, but I think that's like $60, something like that. And I got some 2x4s that, you know, are in the back end to really support it. That's the main structural support with a bottom 2x4 throughout the entire thing. It's just 2x2s, 1 3/4 or whatever. And they're sanded and stained in like a nice wine, right? So I was getting ready to build this rack again, and I started looking at some prices at Home Depot and saying, well, I can definitely build this rack again. But, you know, right in materials alone, you know, with the cost of things right now, it's like $100, $150. And so I started looking online to see what other options might be available. And I found this rack by Rado Racks. That's R-A-D-O or Rado Racks. But this is not like a paid testimonial or anything, and I've never built one of these, so I really don't know. But the construction itself is really cool. It's kind of like skateboard, multi-layered plywood. It's birch actually, and it's all jig cut, pre-formed, sent to you in a box. The cost of this rack, this is a 7-board rack that we're gonna build in front of you tonight. And we're gonna just kind of compare that to the rack that I have here next to you and just weigh the pros and cons of both. So super excited to show this with you, Rado Racks. And yeah, it's all jig cut. So somehow it's like gonna build together and form like this. And there's some hardware and some other stuff. I can't wait to show you the video. I can't wait to show you and compare the two. Stay tuned. So each of these pieces is pre-jigged and cut out, really nice. It's also sanded, birch, like I said, but it's also just really smooth. It's nice piecing. And the pieces are labeled on here and numbered and illustrated. I'll show you the card, hopefully in more detail, because it's pretty small. It's kind of hard to read. Not a well, yeah, it's kind of hard to read. This thing's terrible. No, I'm just kidding. So this is cost part B, and so we're just going to insert it into the rack. All right, so I'm gonna stand this thing upright. Ooh, okay, this is the moment of truth, right? Does this thing stand up or does it fall apart? Oh boy, we're getting somewhere. So here we have the final bolt, and yeah, there's only 7 bolts in this entire rack, and that's the final product. And let's take a look at this thing. So yeah, this is the Rado rack from Rado. You know, as far as the bars itself, they got a little bit of flimsiness. I'm just moving it around here, but the thing is pretty solid. And we have to cushion it, so we're gonna do that. So here we are with the final result from the Rado Racks custom built rack. You can check these out on radoracks.com. This is not a paid advertisement, but this is the 7 board holder for surfboards. Comes with padded areas for the bottom and the top. And we're gonna put it in place. Now, as you can tell, it's really freestanding here. It's pretty solid. All these pieces are multi-layered like a skateboard, you know, very thick and, you know, strong in the directions that they need to be strong. As for moving it, I just wouldn't recommend trying to pick it up by the top and move it, as these are like the thinnest part. They're like almost like hockey stick, you know, things out that are good to hold a surfboard, but not to move it by. So, you know, move it by the bottom or like the cross members. In my case, I'm gonna put it up against this wall. All right, so there you have it. The Rado rack from Colorado. And I'm just going to show you the other rack in comparison. So here's the final verdict. This is the rack that I built on my own. Freestanding, pretty cool. Nice wine color stain. And definitely has its own flavor, you know. But it's not cushioned. And I was already like $200 without doing anything more to it. But I love it. It's not collapsible. And it works pretty good up against the wall. Versus the Rado rack, this one holds 6 boards with 7 prongs. So if you lean up against the wall, you can always put like another one. But in terms of the base, it has a 6 base bottom, and they're all cushioned against the back wall and any of the pressure points of your surfboards. Keeps them really nice and secure, and has a nice feature for the fishes too, with the wide out, so that they're able to stay upright instead of angled in like your shortboards. If you like what you see here, please give my channel a like and subscribe, and I appreciate you watching today. Give Rado Racks a call, and this is not a paid testimonial.